Oh, hi everyone. This is DearMamaSal, and we are live on a Friday evening, which means it's time for us to talk about coping with life. And as usual on a Friday evening, we're going to be talking food. And what I thought I'd do today is to show you how you can make a really fascinating charcuterie board. That's a board that has cheese and meats on it and stuff, just by using maybe what's in your fridge, your freezer, your pantry. You don't even have to go shopping. You can just make this from whatever you've got in the house. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I hope you find it fun. I'm also going to give you a great idea for Valentine's Day. If you're wondering what could I do for Valentine's Day that is cute, and I've got a little idea for you that I saw that I thought, gosh, that's really cute. I think I'm going to make them for myself. So let's get right to it. And hi to Izzy, who's been there for a while. She and I have been talking while we were waiting for the time to pop up. And hi there to Jody. And for those of you who don't know Jody, she's our admin, and she looks after us and does research on the fly and does all sorts of wonderful things. If you're new to the program, please know what you're about to see is not rehearsed. It is not going to have a lot of fancy measurements attached to it. You're not going to see a whole lot of stuff in the notes below because we do this as a collaboration. I will come up with something and then I'll ask the viewers, what do you think we should add to this? And so I never know what we're going to do. And that's half the fun of it for me, and I hope for the viewers as well. So let us start off with what is a charcuterie board. It really consists of a few things. It let me just get the start. It normally has meat, so let's get some meat out of the fridge. Uh, Wait 1 second. I can't get these things out ahead of time, but just bear with me. Okay, let's see how we do that. All right, as we were saying, it normally starts off with meat. So let us assume that the very simplest one we could make would be maybe with some deli meat. All right, so I've got some deli meat here. You just get some out. All right, so this is just a slice of ham. And what you would do is just roll up the ham, a couple of bits like this. Uh, Pretty simple, right? And then maybe the next thing about a charcuterie board is it normally has cheese. So I've got all sorts of different cheeses here, but let's just put a simple one. Let's put some sort of cream cheese here and maybe some smoked cheese over here. Simple enough. And then the other component it normally has is some fruit. Normally has fruit and sometimes some vegetables. Good question. What should we have for vegetables? Oh, okay, so let's just put some lettuce on there. So basically, you're looking at something as simple as this. And how many of you going, I could eat that? No problem at all. However, we're about to have a lot of fun with that basic idea. Are you ready? Ah, We could mess this up totally, and that's okay. But we are going to have fun. So let's keep adding. Hang on a second. And let's think about this. All right. We could add to this some more color. Hang on a second. So let's get some more green and some more orange. Oh, not orange. We'll do orange in a second. All right, so we could add some celery, and we could add some just baby carrots, right? Now it's already looking fairly tasty. But we are going to have so much fun tonight because this is just when nobody's looking, and this is what you put on your plate and go watch television. What we're going to do is really have fun, but totally with leftovers and what's in my thing. And for those of you who were at the lunchtime broadcast, I know you're not going to believe this. I found the water chestnuts I was looking for. They were behind the crackers. Oh, that's the other thing. So sorry. Normally, a charcuterie board also has crackers. Okay, so let's just put a few crackers there. Okay, and now it's looking even more interesting. Agree? Right now, because it's the DearMamaSal viewers, now is when we're really going to start having fun. I nearly ended up with the crackers all over the floor. There we go. My sister, I was talking to my sister about doing this, and she came up with what her favorite is, and that is to, because now it's a case of you don't just have to have plain little roll of deli meat. She likes to, let me show you. She takes her ham, and I've got to read this because if I get it wrong, I'll be in big trouble. Wait a minute, where's my phone? There. All right. I want to make sure. I know it's cream cheese, and I think it's pickled. Hang on. I'm very serious. I want to get it right only because it comes from my sister. And if she should ever see this, she will be pretty picky about the fact I got it wrong. So I want to make sure I get their idea right. Bear with me. Yep. And she said, find where should I put the note now? Oh, wrong way. There we go. All right. Thin slice of deli ham, smeared with Branston cream cheese. Now I haven't got that set, but I have got regular cream cheese. And then with asparagus, pickled asparagus spears in the center. How many of you going? Yeah. She said it is really worth doing. Now, I haven't got the asparagus, so I thought we'd do our version of it, all right? So we need some cream cheese. I think I've got some I've already opened. So let's use that up first. Okay. All right, so what she said is, oh, that's cream. That's not cream cheese, that's real cream. Oh, that's good to know. We'll have that in an amendment. I'll be back for that. What did I do with the cream cheese? There we go. All right, so take the dilly ham and then spread it with cream cheese. Okay, now then, any other ideas what we could put in the center other than the asparagus that I don't have? This is where my viewers come into play. What else can we put in the center? I've never had pickled asparagus either, but she said it is really worth doing. Let's see what we have got here. How about, got Parmesan cheese, right? We're trying to use that up. Hang on. Does anybody else agree that's a do it? Right. So, okay, let's try this. So now, put some Parmesan cheese in there. Sounds good. And, oh, I know what we'll do. Scissors, Sal? Okay, scissors. We'll take some of our chives. And there. Any spices that you think we should have on there? Olives, if I had any. But I don't have any. So I agree with you, very thinly sliced olives. Maybe some really thinly sliced cucumber. Do you think that would work? By the way, I have ordered the antihistamines. I can't take the allergies anymore. I was trying to fight it off without getting it, but I definitely are going to need it. So what did I just say? Oh, finely sliced cucumber would be an idea. Hang on a sec. I'll wash my hands quickly. There we go. So, and get the cucumber. It's just really finely sliced. Now, obviously, you can use your mandolin if you happen to have it handy. But I just want to show how it's done, all right? So there we go, a couple of bits of cucumber, and then we just roll it up. Now, bits have fallen out of the end and not a problem. And the other thing is we could then just put it on our board like this. How many? What do you think? Should I try it? But you see how easy that was. And what am I using up? Cream cheese, some chives, and a little bit of cucumber. But it doesn't look like I was using leftovers, right? So then we'll just add a little bit of the chives for decoration. We don't want to waste those. Now, I've also got some eggs that I'm trying to use up. So here we go. I boiled up some eggs. And by the way, when I boil my eggs, I write the day on them that I boiled them. All right? And then they stay in my fridge like this. And I know how old they are because that's it. Now, these ones haven't got a day on them because I peeled them. Very appealing. They're appealing eggs. Now, we can just add the egg. And does it now look even more like Eat the Rainbow? Now, I know that some of you, all right, have got nothing better to do with your lives than to stuff those eggs. And I would say stuff them, yep. But you will stuff them. But let's say you haven't got time for that. How about we just make them a little bit more interesting? We'll take a bit of mayo. Okay, let's take a little bit of mayo. Oh, brand new mayo bottle. Not made for people with arthritis, I found. So let's do it the cheating way, which is we'll just put some mayo on top. There we go. A little bit of mayo on there. And then a bit of mild curry powder. What do you think? Okay. Now, is that looking even more interesting? I'm going to eat one of those. Now, during the week, I made some breaded turkey strips. Just literally had some turkey. I cut it into strips. I used my homemade, here we go, my homemade sourdough breadcrumbs. And what I did is I put the breaded strips, I cook them, and then I put the breaded strips into a muffin tin. And on the top of it, I put a slice of tomato. And on top of that, I put a slice of, I think that was a slice of cream cheese on top. Now, I don't know about you, but I think it needs some black pepper on there. One baby bell hit the floor. Luckily, it's wrapped. All right, put some black pepper on that. There we go. And can you see, just by what we're doing, we are now turning what was a very simple little idea into quite a meal. How many people would that feed, just as it is? We've got a couple of slices of deli meat. We've got a stuffed deli meat. We've got choices here because over here we have got turkey, breaded turkey with a tomato on top, and then some cream cheese. We've got choices in terms of cheeses, but we haven't really started with the cheeses. All right. And then we've got some carrots. A trick with the carrots. I learned this from a friend of mine who did a lot of entertaining, and I don't know if you guys do this, but whenever he serves carrots like this, whenever he serves carrots, he puts them in the microwave for a minute first. Hold on a sec. And this is if you are feeding people you don't know. And that way, the chances of you breaking somebody's tooth with your carrots are pretty minimal. All right, because you've already pre-softened the carrots. Not so they're soggy, but just so that they're not hard and likely to break somebody's tooth. I thought that was a brilliant idea myself. What about you guys? So, how are we doing? Now then. Yep. So this is our first one, and I'm just going to put that aside because we're moving on to the second one. We're upgrading now. What do you think? Oh, and now, instead of these being really hard, they are softened enough so that people can eat them. We'll just let them cool down. We forgot something. We forgot something. No. We'll do it on the second one. Now then, for those of you who are regular watchers, you will know that I keep a head of Savoy cabbage. Can you see it's like a crinkle cabbage? It's crinkly. It's like me. It's got wrinkles. All right. Now, part of the reason why I do that is because it lasts a long time. And what I'm going to show you is I have done nothing to this cabbage to make it easy to peel off a leaf. But what I love about the Savoy cabbage is that if you just leave it on your countertop, it's easy to pull off a leaf like this. Okay. Now, we could stuff it. Story of my life. We could stuff it, or we could use it as decoration. All right. Almost anything we like. Now, obviously, this one has been on the outside, so it's a bit wilted. If I wanted to use it, the second one would probably hold together a little bit better. Okay. So this one, what I would do is I would make coleslaw. So one of the tricks about doing this, I like to cut out the hard bit in the middle. Just a personal preference. Okay, so now I've got I think we can use this one, seeing as it's just for demonstration. Let's take out the center bit. Yeah. Slice it like that so it dries properly. Yep. Now, can you see that is a really pretty base to put on a charcuterie board? Yeah. Now, what we can do is we can now build up a second one. And for those of you who don't know how to do the fancy egg thing, let me show you. You just take an egg, that's boiled egg, take a very sharp knife with a good point on it, and you just keep doing little V's along it like this. Let's hope you can see this. Okay, so I'm just cutting up and cutting up, cutting up, cutting up. Oops. One of the joys about doing it live, but we could get the idea. Okay, and then once you've done that all the way around, you get given a lemon, make lemonade. We'll use it for color. Try not to walk on it, so. All right, so how does that look? Pretty? Did you all understand how I did that? So now we need a bit more color, so let's get some tomatoes on there. Yeah, it gives it a bit more color. And sneaky. Huh. Now, for meat, Doesn't always have to be turkey, or I've got beef here. Let's put some beef on. So this is some leftover from, you remember Yvonne came for dinner and we had roast beef. So now we've got some sliced pieces of roast beef. And could we have some seafood? Maybe some crab or something like that, or prawns or anything like that. Not everybody likes it, but I do. And what I also wanted to show you was, I'm going to make those next. Remind me to make those next. We want different cheeses. Okay. So here I've got some brie cheese. So this time, let's take our celery and let's think about using that in a second. Not quite yet. Okay, let's take some brie cheese. Now, most people cut brie cheese in little diamond type shapes. I like to cut mine straight. And the reason is because what I'm now going to do is to put a couple of slices of brie. Anybody getting hungry yet? And then I'm going to take some red Leicestershire cheese. Which I love. And how about I'll take right in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like that. Not what I'm looking for. A little bit of apricot jam. I'm so sorry. For all of you in the US, apricot. You say it a different way. So let's put a little bit of apricot jam. Good. And then got plenty of nuts. Let's put some walnuts or pecans. There we go. And on the brie, on this side, I'm going to put some mandarin orange. And on the, hang on a second, let me show you how it's looking now. Yeah, walnuts are super healthy. These are pecans, I think. So now we're going to fill those in a second. But on here, I'm going to put some Branston pickle. Yeah. Now, here's the reason I want to show you this. I haven't spent a lot of time upgrading this, but a little bit. What I'm doing is showing my guests the options. In other words, I will put out a tray like this with all the bits on it. But then I will, once they finish that, I will just put out the basics and let them make their own, which is half the fun. So, for example, I would definitely have the cream cheese and fill that. And my experience of doing this is guests work it out very quickly. They go, oh, I like that. But I would have liked to have had the other stuff on top of the other cheese, in which case that's what they do the second time. Does that make sense? So you're allowing them to have their own creativity along the way, which is much more fun. Okay, so now with this, we're just going to take the cream cheese and we're going to fill the celery. All right, and while I'm doing this, what would you like to see on your celery? And that is another thing. I sometimes actually prepare this while people are watching me so they can see how easy it is to do and also to sort of give them choices, right? So there I've got a couple of pieces of celery. And over here, I took the juice from the mandarin oranges and I took some raisins and some cranberries and just put them in the mandarin juice. So they plumped up. So we know we've got the sweetness of the mandarins and we've got the sweetness of the fruit. Yeah. What would you eat first? Yes, Jody, I find that letting the dried cranberries and dried raisins, reconstitute themselves in mandarin juice, really tastes good. It's a really good taste. So I'm going to try a bite of this first, just because. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome. Very easy. Now, the reason I did this is because I want to show you I didn't use any crackers on here. This is totally using the cheese and the vegetables as the base. All right, no carbs. Well, no carbs other than the obvious. But I haven't used a lot of crackers. All right, so okay. So the good news is you got the taste of the brie. You've then got the sweetness of the apricot jam. By the way, that's regular apricot jam. I couldn't find no sugar type jam for that. And then you got the crunch of the pecans. Jody would go for the Branston Pickle one. Okay, so this is something I grew up with in England. And, you know, in England, you have this sort of cheese with Branston Pickle. Now, Jody, I know that you actually, I think you got some, didn't you? So you know how tasty it is. So Branston Pickle is, I normally don't like pickles, but Branston Pickle is more like a mango chutney. I think that would be really tasty, especially with meat or cheese. Normally, I would probably put some more over the meat because it tastes so good on meat as well. Yeah. Guess what hit the dust this time? Oh, sorry about that one. All right, now I just need to sweep up here before I before I walk in this. Hold on a sec. By the way, I found out that using your dryer sheets on your Swiffer mop works quite well. And obviously, I will clean that up properly later. So I'm going to put this to the side. Because now we're going to do some baked stuff. Let me throw that away before I get tempted to eat it. For that, I need a board. Meat can also be bacon. Now, if you happen to have cocktail sausages or whatever, you could obviously wrap those around with bacon, and then, you know, cook them, and then put them on your charcuterie board. What I'm going to do is something really quite simple. Is I've got some sliced water chestnuts here. And what I'm going to do is just wrap them in there. So just a slice, wrap it, another slice, wrap it, and wrap it again. Now I need something to put them in. And just to let you know, my oven is on at 350. I'm going to do everything at 350 so that I don't have to keep changing the temperature. So just a slice of water chestnut, wrap it, another slice, wrap it, and then just wrap it around. Okay, now then, what else could I wrap in bacon? Obviously, the water chestnuts are nice and easy. And Jody, perhaps we could talk about where else can we use water chestnuts. You know, they are healthy, I believe. I like to put them in salads. I like to have them. What else do I use them in? Mostly in salads, I think. Jody, I know you use yours in your meatballs, right? And we'll be doing that experiment coming up pretty soon. So think about that, right? So just because I've opened the can um, of the water chestnuts doesn't mean I have to use them all up. And the reason I say that is I've got these wonderful little ice cube trays, and what I'm going to do is just put the water chestnuts in here and freeze them, and then I can just pull them out as I need them. All right, stir fry. That was the other thing I was thinking of. Yes. So Jodie's going stir fry, salads, and she just made the teriyaki meatballs. So there we go. However, you could also make. Let's try that. Let's try that. And by the way, I would add these, to the charcuterie board. So now what I'm going to do, I got some leftover rice. So let's put some rice in one of these, a couple of them. All right, just using leftovers, remember. Don't have to make things specially for this. Okay, and then we'll take a few more. A few more of the water chestnuts. And let's use up some of the fruit that we have. Put that on top. And the mandarin juice will go through it all. Now, I'm not sure if they will totally fall apart when I take them out, but we will find out. Okay. And now I'm just going to press them down to make sure they're nice and solid. There's quite a bit of juice there, so I'm going to get rid of some of that juice. All right, and then I'm thinking, now please know I'm making this up as I go along, right? I'm thinking a piece of brie over the top of that. What do you think? Now, don't know if this will work, but if it does, it would be awesome. What do you think? Worth a try. Now, over the bacon rolls, let me put the bacon away. Guess I'm going to be eating quite a bit of bacon this week. Over the bacon rolls, I'm going to put a little bit, I've got a brown sugar and stevia mix. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. And then also got some mayo. Don't ask me why, people, but something told me that the mayo over the top of that would make quite a tasty treat. Put the mayo on top. And a bit more of the good stuff. And then we're just going to bake that at 350. What do you think? 20 minutes? How long does it take to bake bacon? Well, we'll find out, because if it isn't done, we'll leave it a bit longer. So, Jody, if you could you do me a 20-minute alarm? Because we don't want it to be the smoke detector. Okay, let's put these in the oven. All right, so have I got a backup timer, just in case Jody is out of the room when it's time? So somebody else that's got the ability to time something, that would be awesome. Now I'm going to cover the meat. Hold on 1 second. And you will remember that we just put these into the microwave for a minute. They are now so easy to eat. All right? Just so you know. Any questions? And Isabel's also got the timer on. Thank you, Isabel. Appreciate it. The next thing I want to show you is the idea I saw for Valentine's Day. All right, people, what did I do to the lid of this? No idea. So, put that away. All right, now remembering that this is now some juice left over from the mandarin oranges, and now it's also had some cranberry and raisins in it. That will go in a smoothie. I'm not going to waste it. I bet you that's tasty in a smoothie. All right. More tomatoes coming tomorrow. How many of you understand that if you put out a board like this in front of children, you know, with fruits and vegetables on it, but it looks pretty, you know how many more fruits and vegetables they will eat, right? Half the trick is giving them stuff that looks good. You know, and just adding just a little bit of jam on it will get them eating vegetables like you know, absolutely amazing. Another thing, obviously you can use, you know, you can core an apple and use apple slices this way, as, you know, instead of using crackers. But remember to soak them in water with lemon in it for a while. That gets rid of that stuff that makes it go brown. So that if you just soak them in lemon water for a while, the slices won't get brown. I do this quite often at night. I will core the apple, slice it this way, and then, you know, have cheese on it, and, you know, just a dab of something tasty on top of that. This is what I saw. What did I do with it? There we go. Okay, now this is just Pillsbury cinnamon roll dough. All right? That's all it is. And what I saw was you take it and you roll it out. All right, and then I think I need more. Hang on a second, I want to make a bigger one. Oh, but two. That'll do. What the heck? Getting mad, so. Okay. You're going to love this. It's so simple, and I'm going, why didn't I think of this? So first of all, we know we've got cinnamon dough. Cinnamon bun dough, right? So we know it's good to start with. So what you do is you sort of roll it out till it's about yay thick. Got it? And then you cut. You cut a slice like this, and I'm going to roll it so it's longer. Now that I've got it basically done. I'm going to use my other rolling pin. All right, now once you've got it rolled out like this, just roll up the one end, like that. roll up this end like that, put them together like that, and then pinch the bottom until you've got a heart. And what I think would be really nice is you could actually drop a little bit of jam in there, or you could bake it just like that. I'm just going to pinch the bottom. Bake it just like that. Isn't that cute? And then once it's cooked, what if you put a fresh raspberry on it and just a little drizzle of icing sugar? Yeah, I thought the charcuterie is a great idea for a Super Bowl or Valentine's Day. So can you see that you can make breakfast charcuterie as well? Okay. Don't think it's only for dinner or whatever. You can make all sorts of things for breakfast that will work equally well. So now what I'm going to do, because I think you all know I've got these heart-shaped muffin tins, I'm going to actually take this muffin dough. This was 2 here, so I'm going to just roll it back up again. Like this, and I cut it in half. Nope. I'm going to get my proper rolling pin. And so I'm just going to roll it out again. Put a bit of raspberry in there. And then I'm going to take my cutter. No, that's way too thick. No, maybe not. And I'm just going to put it inside the muffin mold, which is heart-shaped. Okay, and then we'll do a second one. Pretty good. And just put that in. Like this. And what I'm going to do here is just press it down. Hang on, let me do it first and then I'll show you. So I just pressed it down so that the edges are up a little bit more. And that means that when it's cooked, I'll be able to fill it with cream cheese, or fill it with icing sugar, or maybe a mix of raspberries and what's that stuff called? Carrot cake, not carrot cake, the frosting that you use on that. Hang on. You know what I mean. Yep. Cream cheese frosting. What do you think? Now you can either drizzle it or you can huck it on there. So I'm going to cook these up. These should take about another 20 minutes, I would think. Anybody else here that can do 20 minutes for us? Or for those of you who are capable of multitasking? So can you see that really simple to do? I have to admit that I have never regretted getting these heart-shaped muffin tins. I made some cookies this week, heart-shaped cookies, and you see the little indentation at the bottom. I just filled that with a mix of raspberry and banana. All right, I had raspberries and bananas, and I just put it in the blender, and then I just put it in there and I baked it like that. In fact, I could do that right now so you could see. Okay, let's do that. Don't talk about it, do it. Don't need very much. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in there. Point in fact, it's easier to do when there's more raspberry and banana in there. So now, the reason I'm showing you this is to show you this is without any icing on it. Yeah, forget that. And from experience, that little mixture just turns this into a delicacy. So whoever's got a timer ready, let's go for another 20. This time on the cinnamon buns, because we got to remember what I have to take out. Now, Jody is mentioning that the way that I'm cooking in these muffin tins, perfect portion control. And notice, Jody, I only cook 2 of them. That's called discipline. All right? Oh, thank you, Sandy. I appreciate that. And that's my discipline, all right, which is I only want to make 2 at the moment because if I make more, I will eat more. And that's how I do my portion control. Okay, so now, if you did a charcuterie board for breakfast, other than cinnamon bun bits, what else could you put on them? In other words, I was thinking, what if you took another muffin tin and, lined it with bacon and dropped an egg in there? Remember, the heart shape is important. Dropped an egg in there and covered it with chives and stuff. Could you cook those up and have those on your charcuterie board? You bet you could. All right. Or just literally make, scramble up the egg and just chop the bits of bacon in there with some chives and salt and pepper. And I've done that. So you've now got a little healthy protein bite. But it doesn't look the same. All right. It looks like it's special. And when you serve it, serve it with a little bit of mayo on top and a little bit of curry powder or something, just so that it looks like you spent hours at it. Don't spend hours. Get smart. What else could we put on a breakfast one? Obviously, you can put meat. You could have ham. And with ham, we think of ham and cheese, right? What if you did, marble sticks wrapped in ham, um, and then with a toothpick through them, and then just cook those up. Can you imagine how tasty that would be? So you could actually, if you've got family, you could all come up with these incredibly creative ideas. And that will make it taste so much better. And by the way, please do not tell anybody in your household that they can't have, brie cheese on macaroni, or that they can't have, whatever it is on whatever. The thing is, you want people to be creative and to make their own special so that A, they get that joy, but secondly, you might come up with the greatest combination that you would never have thought of because you didn't think it would go. So we have used cured meats. We understand, by the way, could I have done steak? Could I have done thinly cut steak on one of the boards? Absolutely. And it would be wonderful. I nearly got it out and I thought, no, that's wasting meat. I've got enough meat out at the moment. But you understand, I could have done it with steak. You can do it with really anything. I was thinking that with the crab later in the week, I'm going to mix this up with some mayonnaise and some chives and other things, and then maybe with a little bit of rice or something, and make little rice and crab cakes, but cold ones, not hot ones. Okay. What else can you think of? The cookies I made were oatmeal and raisin cookies. And I just literally then drizzled a little bit of the cream. No, I lie. That was nearly a big lie. I put about a teaspoon. No, I didn't drizzle it, really. No, I put about a teaspoon of the cream cheese on top. And that, quite honestly, is a great snack any time of the day. But because it's made with oatmeal, it's not too bad. And it is filling. When I say it's filling, I notice that if I have that, I don't crave other sugars for some reason. I'm not quite sure. Some of you will understand that, but I don't. Now, we haven't talked about just literally putting some dip in the middle so that you can put the carrot sticks and celery sticks and everything else to add even more volume to your charcuterie. But that's a good idea. And again, let people contribute what they would like to have in their dip, right? Make different dips. Word of warning, if any of you, yeah, that's what I thought. If any of you use these silicone pans, know they cook hot. And I'm praying we don't set off an alarm here. Don't think we will. If we set off an alarm, I'm going to be gone for a while. Be patient with me. All right, so an interesting thing about cream cheese, when you bake cream cheese, it gets harder. All right, so when it cools. So I'm just putting a toothpick into these bacon bites. Cream cheese fell off that one. Get back up there. Thank you. And quite honestly, I would cook these a little longer. So what I'm going to do is probably let these cool, and then I will cook them up again before I eat them. nearly had a lot of stuff on the floor there. Now remember, these were baked with a little bit of brown sugar and stevia. And we have got water chestnuts in the middle. And we will take our homegrown dried chives and just sprinkle a few of those on top. And quite honestly, if I had any left, I'd probably put half a tomato on top. What do you think? Finger food, but who doesn't love finger food? And how healthy is it, right? As opposed to a bag of chips. Now, I have no idea if the rice things will come out, but we will try. I'm thinking probably not because of the liquid. But worth having a try. We even have a taste it. All right, what do we have in here? We have rice. And then I'm going to work on this because I've nearly got this right. Quite clever, considering I made it up on the spot. So we got rice, we got water chestnuts, and then what do we have? Cranberries and raisins, right? So, okay, which one did Lionel give me 2 thumbs up for? Just so I know. Was it the bacon bit? Or these? I don't know why. They're too hot for me to taste, but I'm quite looking forward to trying these this evening. Because if you notice, I tried to not cook too much so that I can actually eat this. I think I'm going to put this with this. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? So what we did is we used up some rice. And now, I love that. So Lionel said both. All right. And that is the peculiar thing. I have found that contrary to what everybody thinks, men don't just want to eat dip and chips. All right. If it looks tasty, they'll be more than happy to eat it. My question is, how long is that going to take to cool down? I really want to try that rice. But can you see that that is a meal unto itself right there? All right. No problem at all. So my hope is that I have inspired you a little bit to think about what could I do. It looks like a lot of work, but it isn't, quite honestly. You remember how quickly I put that first one together, right? And then I made a second one, and then I started playing after that. So you could get as creative as you want to, or as simple as you want to. But you know, what you will end up with, I believe, is a healthier meal. I haven't even really opened the crackers. And we could do another program just on what to put on top of crackers so that they are more healthy. All right. And because that's what I want you to think about. It's not that you can't eat crackers, it's about what are you going to add to them so they're more balanced. And that's a really good thing to work on. I want to just say, and I was talking about this at lunchtime, at lunchtime today, that I have made lifestyle changes rather than dieting. And the lifestyle changes have helped me get a lot stronger than I was a year ago. I know that because of what I'm doing. But also, I have found that my food requirements are different. All right, so Jody's saying, I love those ideas, colorful, healthy options, and fun too. That's what I want it to be. Now, I've probably got enough food put away, under those tea towels and here to keep me going for the next 3 days. True? Without even bothering to think, what am I going to cook? Or at least I've got snacks to eat. But I want those cinnamon buns to come out pretty soon. I know we haven't got to wait too much longer, but it's just like, I think I'll just have a cup of coffee. How many more minutes do I have to wait? Not many. And by the way, Sandy, I just want to let you know that I've got bread dough busy bubbling away here. And one of the things that I really do know now is I can still have bread. I just don't have a lot of it. I've got about 5 minutes to go. Thank you. Yeah. So this is the whole thing. Jody's saying it's nice to have something different now and then. And that is why I wanted to show you how creative you can be. And you will be amazed when I have people over now for dinner, because, we've got to the stage where we can entertain again to, our close friends. I actually put a charcuterie board out while I'm finishing the cooking. Why? It has people sitting on the other side of this work. I've got this very big worktop. This worktop is about 5 foot by, about 4. All right. So it's a big worktop. And what I do is I have my guests sit the other side and I put the charcuterie board in front of them. And what I'm amazed is how much they pick at it just while we're talking. I don't tell them they need to or whatever. And then when we've finished eating, I just pick up the board and I take it to where we're sitting in the living room. And, they continue to pick at it. And very rarely do I have a whole lot left over. Now you're saying, but wouldn't that spoil their appetite? From my experience, if you're cooking roast beef and Yorkshire pudding and all the trimmings, no. Question. You will remember that we've been cooking in those little pods. Where are they? Oh, probably in the oven. What did I do with the pods? All right, those little 1-cup pods that Jody introduced me to. This is how much mac and cheese is in one of those pods. I actually froze 2 of them like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this in my muffin tins, the heart ones. I'm going to put the cream cheese, the leftover cream cheese at the bottom, and then some tomato, and then a slice of marble cheese on top, and make little things to add to thing. Can you see that you can just keep adding more and more leftovers to it? And it will all, if you bake it so that it's crispy on the outside, it'll hold together. And it's going to be tasty. So I think that's pretty good fun. And for those of you with children, I assure you, children would love to play with this stuff. All right? Because it's like painting, right? It's like creative, and they love it. So if you told them, what do you want to wrap inside a piece of bacon? You can put a sausage in there, or you can put cheese in there, or, give them all the choices, and give them a piece of bacon and let them roll it up, and give them a toothpick and have a go. So to me, it's really important that we stay creative. I want to eat one of these. I wonder if it's cool enough. Okay, let me try. Mm. Okay, this is really good. Mm. It took a bit of extra chewing because it was one whole rasher of bacon. I hadn't thought about that. The next one, I'm going to cut it in half. Because, actually trying to chew one whole ration of bacon that isn't crispy takes a bit of work. So, but I want to tell you, let me tell you what, the first thing when I put it in my mouth, I'd forgotten that I put the brown sugar on there. Remember, a little bit of brown sugar and stevia? I clean forgot about that. That was the first thing I went, oh, that's nice. I like that. And then I don't know if you heard it, but the crunch of the watermelon, not watermelon, of the crunch of the, thank you very much, Sandy, the crunch of the water chestnut. That is really a nice little snack. So there we have cinnamon roll covered in raspberry banana topping. How do they look? They're going to take a while to cool, obviously. And then I will maybe drizzle, but maybe not, some cream cheese frosting over the top. How many of you are aware that I'm really looking forward to dessert tonight? But have you thought about using, cinnamon rolls this way? And if not, maybe you want to think about that. All right. And you're just using the banana and raspberry. You don't have to add the frosting if you don't want to. Yeah, I want to tell you, these heart-shaped muffin tins earn their keep in this household. So my question to you, as usual, is what was your favorite tonight? I love to know, because for me, it's like, then I'm glad I spent the time doing that one. So for those of you who are here, and those of you watching on the replay, let me know in the comments below. But what was it that, first of all, did it inspire you to maybe do a charcuterie board, never mind, in the near future, all right? And just put one together and just get creative with your leftovers, mix them in with cream cheese and put them on quite honestly, It's like take some cream cheese and a few leftovers and cut them into tiny bits, mix them with some cream, all together, and then, just put them along a piece of the rib of this is romaine, all right? And just put them on the board, and people will love it. And they don't realize that the bits in there may be left over from something else. Jody is saying, oh, sorry, my allergies are really playing havoc. You love the cheese and Branston Pickle? Yeah. And you do have the Branston already, right? Well, you can imagine I'm really looking forward to just, going and eating all this up now, and then trying to clean up my kitchen. It's always my great challenge on a Friday night is how long is it going to take me to clean up the kitchen? It's not as bad as it actually looks. A lot of it I'm going to put away into meal prepping, so that every day I have a little bit of that to eat, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really want to say, is it saying funny, but she really liked the way I cut the egg? So simple. And by the way, radishes, the same. Watermelon, the same. Very impressive. And when you think about it, most of what we have done is protein, vegetables, and fruit. Right? And the dessert, the muffins, the cinnamon buns, they're the treat. But portion control. And what I'm now, this I'm going to be using tomorrow. I will put what's left here into the muffin trays, that's portion control, and make little mini pizzas, but using the macaroni as the base, with tomato and cheese on top of them. And they're treats. It doesn't look like you're eating portions. It looks like, oh, that looks like such fun to eat. And so therefore I try and give myself lots of choices, all right? You can imagine I've got greenery, I've got colors, I've got different textures, I've got some is curried flavor, some is, something else altogether. And I really recommend that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I sure did. And I'm hungry now. So this is DearMamaSal saying, remember to thank Jody for her support, and Iz as well for helping me with the timing. Get creative. Keep it colorful. The more colorful it is, the more balanced your food will be. And that is what I'm really working on. It doesn't all have to be a cooked meal. And that is what I hope I have demonstrated. This is DearMamaSal saying, love you all dearly, and we'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, Jody.